Kelvin Gastelum by the phone. Kelvin, how are you, sir?
Yeah, Luke, what's going on, man?
How are you, my friend?
I'm all right. I'm on the way to the airport, but I have a few minutes to talk to you guys.
Can I say where you're going? Because they told me. Can I tell the audience?
Yeah.
You're headed to Spain, right?
Yeah, heading over to Spain. I'm going to go teach a seminar, and I'm going to be right back for International Fight Week.
Where in Spain are you headed?
This will be south of Spain in Malaga.
Have you been before?
I've never been. It'll be my first time, so I'm pretty excited.
Spain is my favorite country outside of the United States. You are going to
Really?
Oh, yeah. You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
Oh, awesome.
Hey, man, I wanted to get you on the show. I wanted to see how things are. Obviously, wish you best in Spain. But for the moment, let me get your reaction to Whitaker versus Romero. What did you make of that? Who was the rightful winner in your mind?
Yeah, I thought Romero would have been getting the nod, but obviously he didn't. And selfishly, I thought I was hoping they'd give it to Whitaker. Just because Romero had missed weight, he wouldn't have been getting the belt, and then it would have just created this whole scenario where I'm definitely not getting the next shot, where it won't be. It just wouldn't be a position where I'd be fighting for a title anytime soon.
Now, according to UFC...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, according to UFC President Dana White, he was saying that they had asked you to fill in as a replacement in case one of those guys fell out. How far in advance did they do that?
Yeah, well, at first, they came to me right after my fight with Jacare. They had told me that they wanted me to be as a backup, stay in shape, keep training and stay in shape for the next month. And my manager was negotiating money to get from that. I wasn't going to be doing it for free. So that fell through. So they told me that's not happening. Okay. And so I went on vacation. I was in Cancun. I went to Cancun, was drinking, eating the whole week. And then I get another call Wednesday before heading out to Chicago, 2 days from, well, really a day and a half from weigh-ins. It was Wednesday night. And I get a call saying if I can fight on Saturday. And I look down in my belly, and I'm like, no, I don't think I can do this in a day and a half.
All right, let's back up a step. First of all, it's hilarious, but backing up just a moment, they wanted you to train and get ready, and they didn't want, like, their issue was, we need you to do this, but we're not going to pay you, or was it not that we won't pay you, we just won't pay you X versus Y amount?
I'm not sure what the whole ordeal was. My manager was negotiating that. But I just know that once we were negotiating the money part, that kind of just fell through.
Okay, now how don't lie now, Kelvin. How heavy were you from Cancun?
I mean, I was probably about 200, 205, at most. But, in a day and a half's notice, while I've been out drinking and eating, it's not very, I probably would have been in the hospital if I would have tried that.
Right. So there was no way you were going to take that. Even if you could have made the weight, it just would have been a bad idea, right?
Yeah. And I mean, no, it's just, I wouldn't have been able to do it, not healthily at least.
All right, so let's get now to the fast forward part. So if you watch the media press conference after the fact, Dana White says you had issues you had to work out. To what is he referring, Kelvin?
You know what? I think he was just a little upset about me not taking the fight and just said those comments.
Because there's nothing like, if they called you tomorrow and said, hey, you versus Whitaker, October, MSG, you could do it, right?
Yeah, of course. I'm ready. I told him I'm ready to go.
So were you surprised he said that?
Yeah, and a little dumbfounded, just because I don't know where those comments are coming from. I just figured he was upset over me not taking the fight a day and a half before.
Have you had a chance to speak to him since?
No,
No.
I'm not.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I would love to sit down and see what those comments were about. I just haven't reached out to him about it. But eventually, I think I want to sit down with him and talk with him and meet with him and see what the future holds.
Okay, so you're back, obviously stateside. I know you're heading to Europe, but you're back training. You're back on the bandwagon, or not the bandwagon. I should say the plan. If they called you today and said, when could you be ready to contest for the middleweight title, what would your answer be?
Yeah, let's do it by the end of the year, by November, in Madison Square, or we can do it in Vegas.
If Robert Whittaker
but
can't
I'm ready to go anytime.
Fair enough. Now, let's assume they want to do that November date that you had in mind. What if Robert Whittaker can't be there? Do you think they should create another interim title?
I don't like the idea of interim titles. You know what I mean? I just don't see why they would make an interim title unless Whittaker is still injured for that period of time, and then that would be the only time where I feel it would be right to make an interim title. But I don't feel like I should be the guy who's next. You know what I mean? I'll wait out as long as I have to get the title shot. You know what I mean? Tyron Woodley waited out almost a year and a half after he fought me to finally fight Robbie Lawler. So I'll sit it out. That's fine.
How long are you willing to sit? A year or more?
We'll just have to see.
Now, the other interesting debate that...
I don't want to be out that long, but yeah.
Fair enough. Now, there is this other interesting debate at middleweight. You have 2 wins in a row. You knocked out Michael Bisping in November of 2017, and then in May, you had that win over Jacare at UFC 224. So you're on a great 2-fight win streak. You're one of the top middleweights in the world. Chris Weidman is also kind of knocking on the door. Now, he's out now, but he has the win over you. I know you believe you're the deserving candidate, as do I, but I'd just like to hear it from your perspective. Why should you get the shot ahead of him?
Chris Weidman thinks he should get the shot over me.
I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I believe that's correct.
Yeah. Well, I believe I was ranked 9th when he fought me, and he was coming off a 3-fight skid, and, since we fought, I've fought 2 top 5 guys, 2 former champions, and 2 guys that were in the top 5, Michael Bisping and Jacare. Jacare's former champion. Michael Bisping was the former champion. I've been beating all these top 10 guys and former champions while he's been out, injured, unfortunately. But in the past 18 months, I've had all the, 5 fights with former champions and top 10 fighters. So, I don't feel how he feels he deserves it. He's been injured. He's been out, unfortunately, but that's just the way it goes. He says he's the most decorated fighter, but that's in the past, man. We're talking about now. And, active fighters who are winning fights and fighting the big fights should be rewarded, and that should be me.
Has the UFC given you any indication about where you fit in their plans?
No, I haven't been given anything. But I'm hoping I get the next shot, If the fans want me to fight, then they should get on social media and ask for that fight, too, because I want to fight. I want that fight. I get a lot of people telling me on social media they want that fight. I get nonstop messages that, that I should be fighting for the title next. So the fans want it. I want it. Let's make it happen. 2 young, hungry lions going at it. It's time for the new generation to kind of take over this division, and I feel like that's me and Whittaker. So, 2 young, hungry lions going at it would be fun to watch, I think.
Aside from the question about deservingness and who the top contenders are, why do you think you're a good matchup to face Robert Whittaker? From a skill standpoint, why do you believe you're the toughest test for him?
Well, I know that he's been offered the fight against me twice, and he has not been wanting to fight me, and that's, I feel, for a good reason. I think I give him the most difficult time if we step in the cage, and I think he knows that.
Is it because
So
you can match him?
In my opinion, I match up horribly for him.
Is it because of the boxing? Your boxing matches up with his?
I think my boxing matches up well with his. Also, my wrestling and my ground game is going to be better than his, I think.
All right. Well, I don't know what Spain holds for you, my friend, but bien viaje. I wish you good travels. I'm telling you, watch out for that jamon in Spain. It's deadly.
I'm probably going to be eating a lot of it, yeah.
Well, enjoy your time, and I don't know what the UFC holds next for you at middleweight, but I can't wait to see it. Thank you for joining me here on my first show on the MMA Hour, and I wish you the best of luck.
Congratulations on the new gig, man, and thanks for having me on as part of your first show.
I really appreciate it. Safe travels, Kelvin. All right, there he goes. Very good.